The hometown Chiefs look to end their slump against the 4-2 Pittsburgh Steelers, who as usual have invaded a road venue with tons of black and yellow. Today's game is being broadcast in Spanish where available using the SAP button on your television. Our kickoff is next. It is a beautiful 60-degree day on a Sunday afternoon here in Kansas City, Missouri. Very little wind, sun is shining. Sun is shining on Stacey Dales on the sideline. Stacey.
Well, Greg, I asked Steelers coach Mike Tomlin what he expects from Landry Jones in his first ever career start in the NFL, and he told me for Landry to be Landry, take care of the football, communicate, allow the playmakers to make plays. I also had a really good conversation with quarterback Ben Roethlisberger. I said to Ben, what makes Landry Jones special? And he told me it's his above-the-shoulders game. Translation, the guy is super smart. Ben said he almost knows this offense as well as I do. And Ben Roethlisberger, guys, I just quoted him and he's standing with me. He knows the offense, Landry Jones, better than you do, Ben.
Probably.
Yeah,
There's a good chance. He's got a good head on his shoulders. And he's Oklahoma, right?
OU, baby. Back to you, Greg.
A little camaraderie on the sidelines going on there. You know, Stacey's lucky Ben didn't run over her because they're getting set to kick off. Pittsburgh won the toss. They have elected to receive.
Give Stacey credit, though, for maintaining her composure, knowing that Ben was stalking her right on the sideline.
This one will sail into the end zone and will not be returned by Dree Archer. And so the Steelers will start from their own 20-yard line, and that means third-year quarterback Landry Jones making his NFL debut last week against Arizona. It was a rousing success. Today, his first NFL start, the young man out of Oklahoma, and they do have all kinds of trust in him, Trent.
Well, the fact that he's been there 3 years, this is his third season working under Todd Haley and understands this offense, feels really good about it. We just heard from Ben Roethlisberger talking about how smart of a quarterback he is.
Here we go from the 20-yard line. Le'Veon Bell in the backfield with Landry Jones on first down. And Jones to throw. And on the slant, that's complete, and out close to the 40-yard line is Martavis Bryant for a first down. The Steelers up front have lost starting left tackle Kelvin Beachum to a season-ending knee injury. First-year lineman Alejandro Villanueva starts. We'll be talking about him. And the guy you just saw, number 10, Martavis Bryant. A great day against the Cardinals last week. 6 catches, 137 yards, and a pair of TDs. From the 39-yard line, another first down. And Jones to throw it again. With time, going deep. Bryant again. And out of bounds, incomplete.
Interesting that the first 2 pass attempts, Landry Jones goes after Martavis Bryant. You'll see a contested throw down the sideline, just a little bit to the outside. You have to make some adjustments for the wind that's swirling around here in Arrowhead Stadium. But just looking back at last week's game, Landry Jones had a great connection with Martavis Bryant, trying to pick up right where he left off to start this game.
You think 2 passes in a row is a way to help loosen up Landry Jones?
That's a good start. If you're an inexperienced quarterback, come out right away, start firing it.
On 2nd and 10, this is Bell for 2 to the 41-yard line. Just as the Chiefs' defensive line loses Mike DeVito to a concussion, they get number 92 Dontari Poe back from an ankle injury. They also get Tamba Hali back at linebacker. He's been out dealing with a bad knee. And the secondary has the rookie Marcus Peters at cornerback, a team leading 3 interceptions, one of which he's returned 55 yards for a touchdown. Third and 8, and the Chiefs crowd comes alive. False start. This is going to go against the Steelers.
False start, number 77, offense. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
It's Marcus Gilbert.
You can see some discussions right now going on with the secondary of the Chiefs because of that release that the Steelers just showed. There was some confusion from a coverage standpoint. They have another rookie on the field. Steven Nelson is their dime back, number 20. On the previous snap, he was matched up on Antonio Brown. He's not this time, however.
3rd and 13 now, and the Steelers need the 49-yard line for a first down. Landry, quick pass far side, tipped, and it falls incomplete. Justin Houston got a hand on it.
Jones pass batted down by Justin.
And that's a good decision by Todd Haley. Have a quick throw instead of having an inexperienced quarterback try and drop back 7 steps and push the ball up the field. This is just a quick 1-step trying to get a wide receiver to Bryant. Justin Houston doesn't allow that to happen. Gilbert's got to chop him. He's got to take out the legs of Justin Houston, get his hands down so he can't bat that ball down.
DeAnthony Thomas is deep for the punt upcoming from Jordan Berry. High booming kick from the 16. Thomas up the sideline and pushed out of bounds at about the 40-yard line. Well, we talked about this crowd being noisy and fiery. Why not? Look at who was doing his part to fire the crowd up. Our own Tony Gonzalez. What's this pregame ritual about?
Well, this is something that started after I left Kansas City. But as you can see, Tony getting into it, trying to wave the crowd, get them going. Try and bring different local celebrities and former Chief players to come back and pound on that drum, get them fired up before kickoff.
Kansas City quarterback Alex Smith been in the crosshairs in the Chiefs' slow start. Came alive a bit in the second half last week. Play fake under pressure, and he had to get rid of it in a hurry. Incomplete. Intended for the tight end O'Shaughnessy. Arthur Moats delivering the pressure. Some new names in the offensive line, some shuffling that has right tackle Eric Fisher returning to his original spot on the left side. And there's some question about whether or not Macklin was going to be back. He is not. Albert Wilson, Chris Conley, the wide receivers. Second and 10, Charkandrick West in the backfield alongside Alex Smith. Smith throwing, and that's complete across the 45 to Jason Avant. A look at Pittsburgh's 3-4 defense. Stephon Tuitt out with a knee injury. Number 93, Cam Thomas, starts for him. The defense gets the outstanding second-year linebacker Ryan Shazier back from a shoulder injury. He's missed the last 4 games. And with Will Allen out with an ankle, Robert Golden steps up to start at safety alongside Mike Mitchell. A 3rd and 5 for Kansas City. Quick pass out of the backfield is West, and West has a first down and then some. Pushed out of bounds at about the 42 of the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's a first down for the Chiefs.
Chiefs give the appearance that they're going to bring pressure from the left. You've got a lot of bodies over on the side, but they find the isolation one-on-one on the front side with Charkandrick West getting out of the backfield.
Scoring on the first drive of a game has been tough on the Chiefs so far this year. First down. This is West. West with running room inside the 35 to about the 37. Lawrence Timmons, William Gay converging for the tackle. Charkandrick West in his second season out of Abilene Christian. And cut and coming back and starting, that's the ultimate trip, isn't it?
When you get put through that, that's a test as a player. You got to stick with your, you have to have the fortitude to be able to stick with it, and he has, and now he'll have his opportunity.
This is West once again. And West bottled up after about a 1-yard pickup. Arthur Moats with the stop. Let's go down to Stacy.
Guys, you'll notice that West has that ball high and tight. That's because every time he fumbles it, which we saw a week ago against the Vikings, he owes Jamal Charles, who, by the way, had surgery on that ACL this week, $200. So trying to keep the money in the pocket, guys.
Not a bad thing.
That's right. Based on the salary of Charkandrick West and Jamal Charles, I would say Charkandrick needs to keep that $200.
First down at the Pittsburgh 31. The give is to DeAnthony Thomas with blocker in front of him. Kelsey blocking. First down and out of bounds inside the 20-yard line.
DeAnthony just coming in motion. You can see the timing of the snap is right when Alex Smith snaps the ball. He's able to turn and hand it to DeAnthony, so he's got a full head of steam to work around that left side. He's got Travis Kelce leading the block, get to the outside. A little misdirection from the Chiefs, able to pick up another first down.
So Tony Gonzalez was talking about Travis Kelce on the NFL Today. The same thing about his blocking ability.
Well, and that's the thing. You know, Travis knows he has to improve as a blocker, but he likes to think of himself as a well-rounded tight end.
Smith with time, throwing, grab inside the 5-yard line, no, ruled out of bounds and incomplete. Albert Wilson could not come down with it. Antoine Blake covering.
Alex Smith, he leaves this ball a little bit high, causing Albert Wilson to leave his feet to go up and get the ball. Blake does an excellent job of knocking it loose, cleanly knocking it loose.
So make it 2nd and 10 from the 18. Smith with time again. And this is DeAnthony Thomas. And Thomas, see where his forward progress will be marked at about the 11-yard line.
DeAnthony Thomas. Tackled by Ross Otto.
The Chiefs have gone 9 consecutive games without scoring a touchdown on their opening drive. Now they're in position, obviously on 3rd and short here. Look for them to continue to try and push the ball up the field in the pass game. Wouldn't be surprised if they get a bunch or a trips formation and then get some crossing routes. I know a lot of the people out there talk about rub routes, well, crossing routes. See if they can't get somebody free running away.
3rd and 3.
Steelers once again have a bunch of guys at the line of scrimmage trying to cause some confusion with the blocking.
Right through the hands of West out of the backfield.
Smith's pass intended for Charkandrick West.
That's just a case of a young player trying to get the ball and make a move before securing the catch, realizing he has the defender closing in on him and tries making that inside move a little bit too early.
So that'll bring on Cairo Santos, 2nd-year kicker out of Tulane. This is a 30-yard field goal attempt for the lead. Kick is on its way, and it is perfect.
The kick is good. The score, Chiefs 3.
8:47 to play in the first quarter. The Kansas City Chiefs grab the lead on the visiting Pittsburgh Steelers. It's 3-0. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Welcome back, everyone. Week 7 continues later today on Fox, and then tonight with Sunday Night Football on NBC. And tune in tomorrow for Monday Night Football on ESPN. 3-0, Kansas City. Santos set to kick it away to Dree Archer and Jordan Todman. And this one is returnable by Archer from 5 yards deep in the end zone. Across the 30. And out of bounds at about the 33-yard line. Jamel Fleming with the tackle. 8:40 to play in the first quarter.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. McDonald's, now serving all-day breakfast. And by Kelley Blue Book. Find out what you should pay for your next new car at KBB.com.
Oh, apparently pumpkins are wild this time of year. Trent, Carolyn's Pumpkin Patch in Liberty, Missouri. Thank you for allowing us access. Time for us to go green. Trent.
Well, the great thing about Le'Veon Bell is his ability to have good vision when he's coming out of the backfield, allow his blockers to set things up. He's very patient runner. When talking with Mike Tomlin and some of the offensive players, just the patience that he has. And then when he gets in the open field, he has the vision, he has the speed, and he has the ability to make defenders miss and pick up those extra yards.
How about Andy Reid? Andy Reid told us he's the most patient guy he's seen since Barry Sanders.
That's a huge compliment.
On first down, Jones under center. And this is Le'Veon Bell. Picks his way across the 35 and out to the 37-yard line.
Le'Veon Bell, the ball carrier.
There's Andy Reid. Saw his team go 48 yards in 10 plays in just over 4 minutes. What did he share with his team this week? He says, I've never been 1-5.
Yeah, it's a test for all of them. He stepped up and said, I have to perform better. We all need to perform better. And, he said this is a challenge that we all have to face head on.
D'Angelo Williams is in the backfield for the Steelers. Landry Jones over the middle. Knocked down. Sean Smith knocked it down. It was intended for Antonio Brown.
Well, and speaking of the two corners, we talked to Antonio Brown about Sean Smith, who's a bigger defensive back. You see him here climbing over the top of Antonio's back and knocking the ball away. Earlier on that first drive, we saw the Steelers going after rookie Marcus Peters, who's a smaller back that likes to read the quarterback, take a little bit more chances, a little bit different type of corner.
No question, and understandably, Antonio Brown's numbers have gone down since Ben Roethlisberger has been sidelined with the injury. 3rd and 5. Jones throwing. Oh, what a catch made at the 45 by Antonio Brown for the first down.
Jones calls complete to
Nice throw, nice catch.
Well, and it looks like Marcus Peters is coming out of the game. He's the defender that's one-on-one. Eric Berry thinks he has an interception. He breaks on the ball, thinks he has it, misses them both, and Brown's able to come up with the catch. Marcus Peters, after this play, is grabbing onto his hand and signals over to the sideline and runs off the field, so we'll have to keep an eye on that.
Steven Nelson has replaced him at cornerback for Kansas City. Brown in motion to the far side of the field. They give it to Brown, coming this way with blocking and out of bounds at about the 35-yard line.
Antonio Brown, the ball carrier.
Talked about how Antonio Brown was so prolific with Ben Roethlisberger and pretty much just the opposite without him, Trent.
Well, he was leading the league in a number of categories receiving-wise with Ben Roethlisberger in there. The offense had to change. To give Todd Haley credit, the offense changed because of Michael Vick and what Michael Vick is good at doing. And now it has to change for a third time with Landry Jones being the third starting quarterback for the Steelers this season. But Antonio Brown has seen a big drop-off in his numbers with the other two quarterbacks.
Came up with a big catch a few moments ago. 2nd and 4. Bell. That's the patience that we've heard about.
Incredible patience there. A lot of young running backs, and Le'Veon's still a young guy. He's only 23 years old, but when you think about running backs, a lot of them will get antsy in that situation, and they'll want to bounce it to the outside. They'll say, I've got the speed, I can get around the edge. Well, Le'Veon's smart enough to know that in this league, you don't have that type of speed because everybody's fast. He gave the patience, was able to create and find a lane in there and push it forward for a couple yards.
D'Angelo Williams in for 3rd and 1. Jones will give to Williams straight ahead. He's got the first down and more to about the 25-yard line of the Chiefs.
He was tackled by Alan Bailey.
Head coach Mike Tomlin. Just fun to talk about football games with Mike Tomlin, isn't it?
He brought great energy into the meeting. He talked about bringing the focus of the energy and effort to the guys that are on the field. You know, they've had to deal with a lot of injuries on both sides of the football. Yeah, we've talked about Ben Roethlisberger. Obviously, Pouncey's out of the lineup. They're starting center and losing a left tackle. Defensively, they've had some guys, so he does a good job of keeping this team focused.
On first down, Landry Jones. That's Bell. And Bell just inside the 20-yard line to the 19.
Pass complete to Le'Veon Bell.
Hey, a reminder for you, never miss a moment of football action with the CBS Sports app. Every play, every story, and every highlight, right as they happen. Download the CBS Sports app now at cbssports.com/mobile.
Excellent job by Landry Jones that last time on the screenplay, inviting the defense to draw up in. Ben Roethlisberger talked to us about the type of student that Landry Jones is and the fact that he has been there 3 years and feels comfortable with what Landry Jones can get done on the field.
Marcus Peters is back onto the field for the Chiefs. 2nd and 3. Little toss to Bell. And Bell loses about a yard on this play.
Le'Veon Bell,
Pittsburgh,
ball
the
carrier.
#1 red zone offense in the National Football League coming into this week.
Tackled by Derek Johnson
16 drives, 12 resulting in touchdowns.
from the 17-yard line.
Well, now you see some bigger bodies coming on the field because with this short yardage, bring Roosevelt next, bring the fullback in, bring D'Angelo Williams, who just converted the last 3rd and short. Unless the Chiefs put everybody in the box and give isolation one-on-one, look for them to run this ball inside.
Once again, Williams. Let's see where they spot it. This will be close.
And the Chiefs were thinking the same thing. They stacked up inside.
D'Angelo Williams, the ball carrier.
Looks like 4th down.
The run is initially going to the right. D'Angelo Williams is nothing there, and he bounces it to the backside. Only to be greeted by Bailey and Maga.
So Mike Tomlin says he likes to go with however he's feeling at the moment. He's feeling it on 4th and 1 here.
Same thing. He'll push it inside, try and test that interior part of the line.
Williams gets the 1st down. Inside the 15.
D'Angelo Williams, the ball carrier.
You asked him at our meeting about why he went for the winning touchdown against San Diego, and he said it was just a feeling that he had the way it was going, and he has faith in his offense at times.
Well, and he told us, he said the night before, after losing that overtime game the week before to Baltimore, he got in front of his team. He said, we're going out here to seek victory. We're not going to be afraid. And so how can he say that the night before and then not go for it? He had firm belief in his team.
11th play of this drive. This is Le'Veon Bell. More patience. Boy, he just dances along that offensive line until he finds the opening.
He just glides. He's just buying time. And then when he needs to get that burst, when he needs to put that foot in the ground and go forward, he's able to do it. And, we touched on it just a second ago about his vision, his patience, and then that burst. And he displayed all 3 on that run there.
You're surprised that kind of patience is unusual in a back so young.
It is, and it's tremendous on his part to be able to make those adjustments. At an earlier age, a lot of times you just want to go. You don't have that type of patience. You develop it later on, but Le'Veon has it already at 23 years of age.
2nd and 7 from the 11. Jones pulls it down once, throws, completes inside the 10 to Marcus Wheaton.
Jones pass complete to Marcus Wheaton.
That'll be at about the 6 and about 2 yards short of a 1st down. Brings up a 3rd and 2.
They've converted, I don't know how many 3rd downs on this drive, but they've been able to, you think about how long this drive has gone, how many 3rd downs they've had to convert. They've been very smooth with the offense, with the play calling. They haven't had a whole lot of big chunks up the field. Most of it has been a very meticulous drive.
D'Angelo Williams flanked, or in the backfield rather, and Bell now in motion. Jones rolling, looking, throwing, in and out of the hands of D'Angelo Williams inside the 5. Nicely conceived play and nicely executed, except for the drop.
Well, there was a lot of misdirection there, trying to cause confusion by the defense and ultimately get to D'Angelo late over in that right flag. Right over in that right flag. Just like earlier with Tarkanian Request for the Chiefs when he tried running before he caught the ball. Even a veteran like D'Angelo Williams can have the same problem. If you try running before you secure it, not able to bring it in for the 1st down.
Here's Chris Boswell from 24 yards out. And this game is tied. 59 seconds to play in the 1st quarter. Chiefs, Steelers, 3-3. Couple of red-hot teams coming your way on Thursday Night Football the next couple of weeks. First, Brady and the Patriots on CBS and NFL Network against Miami, and then the unbeaten Cincinnati Bengals taking on divisional rival Cleveland, only on NFL Network. The next 2 weeks of Thursday Night Football, make sure you tune in. D'Anthony Thomas deep in the end zone. Landry Jones guiding a 14-play, 61-yard drive for the tying field goal. And this one will not be returned. It sails through the end zone for the touchback. So Alex Smith and the Kansas City offense back to work. 59 seconds to play.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the Lexus IS200 Turbo and IS300 all-wheel drive. And by Bud Light. Stay in the game and drink responsibly.
Oh, look at the Royals Baseball Stadium right across the street, the home of the American League champions, and a couple of them paid a visit to the field before the game. Manager Ned Yost in the middle, holding the William Heritage Trophy. Pretty good baseball team. Beat a pretty good baseball team in the Toronto Blue Jays. Smith with time, wide open, hit his man across the 40-yard line. Chris Conley pulls it in, and he's out of bounds at the 45.
That 25-yard pass from Alex Smith.
Good play action, good pickup and protection that the Kansas City Chiefs had. Conley coming from the inside. He's going to work his way across the field as you get clear outs. But it's the ability of Alex Smith to step up in the pocket, buy time, and find that window. Hitting Conley.
Charkandrick West gets the handoff and is going to lose yardage courtesy of Bud Dupree, the rookie linebacker, first-round pick out of Kentucky.
He was tackled by Bud Dupree.
Dupree had a big impact the first 2 games of the season. Got sacks in his first 2 games. This time just coming off the block of Travis Kelce. We talked the last series about Travis Kelce and working on that run blocking. That time there, had he been able to secure the edge, keep Dupree on the inside, West could have had a chance to bounce it to the outside.
That was the last play of the first quarter. We've played 1 here in Kansas City. We go to the second quarter tied at 3. Welcome back to Kansas City as we start the second quarter. Look at Alex Smith, the Kansas City quarterback. It was these same Steelers that he was facing in week 16 of last year when he suffered a lacerated spleen. And it forced him to miss the Chiefs' last game of the season. And as we said, he has struggled this year. Andy Reid was quick to point out that they haven't done a very good job of protecting him, and he was protected pretty well on that completion to Chris Conley.
They did give him some good protection, pushing the ball up the field, and they've rotated the offensive line. We talked about the changes. You mentioned it when we were going through the lineups. The offensive line has continually changed. Now Eric Fisher going from right tackle to left tackle. Jeff Allen coming in at right tackle, who missed most of the season because of a high ankle injury. Duvernay Tardif is now Larry Duvernay Tardif in at right guard. So they continue to try and find the right pieces so that Alex Smith can have more production.
On 2nd and 14, Smith pumps once, throws sideline, complete. And very close to another first down at the 45-yard line is Travis Kelce. You know, one of the amazing things about football fans is their ability to bring a sense of humor to the stadium. That's a guy sitting in the stands.
Oh, it's impressive. I like how he has the laminated sheet, too.
I like the headset.
It almost looks like a menu. Maybe he has it looks like it must be a laminated menu. Oh, that's great.
That one's got drawings on it. Looks like yeah. He's going to have the chowder for lunch.
Travis Kelce picking up a big first down.
So we get a timeout. Which Coach Reid called that timeout?
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest. Transparency. Low fares, nothing to hide. McDonald's, now serving all-day breakfast. And by Kelley Blue Book. Find out what you should pay for your next new car at KBB.com.
Back at Arrowhead, that rejuggled offensive line, you would think Trent would cause some problems, maybe false starts here and there, but not a single penalty has been called on the Chiefs yet, and that's been a problem for them lately.
Alex Smith's making some last-second adjustments.
Play fake, Smith on the move. And slides down inside the 40-yard line.
Alex Smith, the ball carrier.
And we have some additional tussling on the near side. Number 90, Steve McClendon, right in the middle of it as penalty markers fly. Charkandrick West is in there for the Chiefs. While the play was happening on the far side of the field, there was some additional hitting on the near side. Our referee today is Walt Coleman.
That was a long way from where the ball was going. It was a play fake, trying to get a play action pass up the field, and Alex scrambling to the right, and all the activity occurred on the other side of the field at the numbers.
So they're explaining who gets what.
Alex Smith with a late slide and Ryan Shazier flying over the top of him.
After the play is over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 35, offense. That 15-yard penalty will be assessed from the end of the play. Second down.
Well, and that goes to show you, Greg, that's the last thing to occur in the pileup was Charkandrick West getting in. See the late slide by Smith and Shazier going. No penalty was called on that.
But then on the near side of the field, here's Charkandrick West going at it with a much bigger dude.
James Harrison. That if you're going to pick all the guys in the playground that you're going to go after, that's James Harrison's probably not the one that you want to go after.
So just as we said that the Chiefs had a better handle on the penalty phase of the game, they get pushed back to their own 47.
Right on cue, right?
Niall Davis in the backfield on 2nd and 18. Smith wide open. Travis Kelce. And very close to a first down at the 35.
Kelce one-on-one on the outside, just trying to find a gap in that zone. Able to find it over on the far sideline. Good recognition by Alex Smith to see that.
So he is
Second down and 1 from the Steelers.
just shy of a first down.
Well, this is the time to take a shot if you think you're going to go for it on 4th down. Instead, just trying to pick up the first down.
And they get the first down, bursting inside the 30 to about the 27-yard line is Charkandrick West. Hey, America, the wait is over. The world premiere of Supergirl is just one day away. Be sure to see what everyone will be talking about. Supergirl premieres tomorrow after a new Big Bang Theory only. CBS.
From the Pittsburgh 27-yard line.
Alex Smith on first down now. Smith throwing behind Charkandrick West, who thought he was going to take it downfield, and West threw it behind, or rather, Alex Smith threw it behind him. Our first NFL Today update from New York, JB, Bart Scott.
Bart, Miami again? I tell you what, they're buying whatever Dan Campbell is selling. Jarvis Landry's going to take it in for the 10-yard score. Miami leads 21-all. Tannehill 7 for 7 on the day. They playing expired.
In the first quarter, Greg, back to Greg Gumbel.
Okay, I don't want to be around Bart when he's that excited.
I can't believe Bart got that excited about offensive play.
Offensive football.
He's excited. They got 21 points.
Unless he was angry. 2nd and 10. Inside handoff to Niall Davis. And Davis brought to a stop at about the 25. So that'll bring about a 3rd and 8. So let's see what Andy Reid dials up here.
Well, I think it's pretty evident. You see some of the misdirection, some of the things that the Chiefs have tried to put into the playbook this week. They've got some more guys in motion and crisscrossing. DeAnthony Thomas working around the side. They handed off to him early. That time he was a decoy with an underneath handoff, trying to find some different ways to create offense.
3rd and 8. West is in the backfield.
You got Conley one-on-one up top of the screen here.
Smith throwing, that's Kelce. Kelce inside the 10-yard line to the 9. It'll be 1st and goal.
Travis Kelce finding matchups in the middle of the field. You'll see him here. He's just going to work to the inside.
First and goal at the 9-yard line.
Matched up on Moats. When you get man-to-man across the board as a quarterback, you want to find those matchups, and that's a matchup you'll take every time you get Kelce on the linebacker.
He kept going, and he did not hit until he reached the 9. First and goal. West. Inside the 5 to the 4.
Kendrick West, the ball carrier.
Though we mentioned before, Tony Gonzalez did a piece on Travis Kelce on the NFL Today, and we talked to him on Friday. He's a different human being, isn't he?
He beats to a different drum. He's got some dance moves. I think that's what Chiefs fans are hoping that he gets in the end zone to break out another new dance. But he has a great attitude, great approach for the game. Loves the game of football. Very emotional, and talked about that last week, getting the best of him in the Minnesota game. Has to keep that under control, and so far today has done that.
6-minute drive now, and counting. Smith throwing, incomplete. Threw behind Charkandrick West, the intended receiver.
Well, and I believe this ball gets tipped. That's why the fans are looking for a pass interference play, but it does. It gets tipped right in the middle of the field there.
He was covered by Daniel McCullers.
Looks like it was Jarvis Jones that was able to get a piece of it. That's why they're not going to get that call on McCullers peeling off on the zone pressure, zone blitz pressure.
So it's 3rd and goal.
Watch right down here. Demetrius Harris, 84. You see him in motion.
They'll give it to West, man. He's going nowhere. Buried in the middle of the line by Steve McClendon and Lawrence Timmons.
They're going to kick this field goal, but keep an eye on that. With that lineup, they get down in there again, Greg. And don't be surprised. Demetrius Harris, former basketball player, has a big size advantage there. That's why I was pointing him out. I thought they were just going to try and throw a fade to him over in the corner because of the big size advantage.
Demetrius Harris goes 6'7", 230 pounds.
22-yard attempt.
Cairo Santos from 22 yards out for the lead. And it is good. We have 8:55 to play in the first half, and the Chiefs regain the lead at 6-3.
Ryan Tannehill finding the
Look from on high. Beautiful look on a beautiful afternoon in Kansas City. I know for a fact it isn't always this warm here in Kansas City this time of year.
I know you were excited when you saw the weather, but you never know. It could be swirling in here. And yes, we've been lucky with the weather.
As they say in baseball, the temperature reading began with a crooked number. Santos kicks it away, and this will not be returned by Dree Archer. And so once again, the Steelers will start from their own 20-yard line, trailing by 3 with 8:55 to play in the first half.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Verizon. Watch live primetime games with NFL Mobile only on Verizon. Charles Schwab. Own your tomorrow. And by Acura, the leading automotive brand in safety performance.
That gorgeous shot of Arrowhead Stadium, courtesy of aerial coverage provided by DirecTV. So the Steelers from their own 20. Le'Veon Bell, a little hesitation in there. He goes, breaks to the outside, across the 40 and out of bounds.
Le'Veon Bell, the ball carrier.
21 yards on the play.
Gain of 21 yards on the play.
Little stutter step here to get started, Trent.
Excellent job by the left side. Villanueva and Foster creating the lane on that side, and Wallace peeling his guy to the inside, giving Le'Veon Bell the chance to get to that second level, and you see the receivers blocking up the field as well, and that burst that we've talked about already in this game. Don't be surprised now if the Steelers take a shot. They've given some room. They've gotten Landry Jones, let him get comfortable with a few series. Now they've got a little bit of space away from their end zone. I'd anticipate taking a shot here pretty soon.
There's a shot. penalty marker falls, intended for Will Johnson. Here's Walt Coleman.
They're looking to use some hands to the face, number 55, defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That penalty is on D Ford. We go back to the NFL today for another update. Once again, JB and Bart.
What has gotten into Miami?
I tell you what, Ryan Tannehill is just showing off. Right here, he's going to find Lamar Miller, who takes it in for 54 yards. Ryan Tannehill, 3 touchdowns, over 50 yards on the day, 9 for 9 for 201. Miami all over Houston, 28-zip.
Unbelievable. Greg Gumbel, Trent Green, and Stacey Dales.
All right, guys, thank you.
Now Bart's getting excited about quarterback play. It's going crazy back there in New York.
Here's Bell. Boy, look at the stops and starts when Le'Veon Bell gets his hands on the.
Tremendous. He has great patience. Now with second and short, I'm going to say it again. At some point in time, Todd Haley is going to let Landry Jones take the top off this thing. He's going to let him push the ball up the field. He's been very good. You know, getting your first start, you want to get comfortable. You want to take some short throws. You want to get things moving a little bit. But this would be a situation right around midfield. You got a second down and manageable to try and get a big shot up the field.
On 2nd and 4, Bell again, and Bell has the first down to the Kansas City 41. Josh Maga making the tackle. Hey, guess what? It's Super Monday on CBS. And it all begins with TV's #1 comedy, The Big Bang Theory, followed by the premiere of Supergirl, and then stay tuned for the super geniuses of Scorpion. It's an all-new Super Monday tomorrow on CBS. Steelers on the move now to the Chiefs' 41-yard line. And they're going to keep it on the ground with Bell. Bell waits for a hole that does not open. Well, he ducks inside the 40 to about the 38.5. Dontari Poe with the stop. We still marvel. We were in Minneapolis last week when this Chief defense held Adrian Peterson to 60 yards on 26 carries, and that's doing something.
They've done a good job with stopping a lot of big backs around the league that they've faced throughout this season, and that was a true test last week up in Minnesota. And Adrian Peterson, as you said, the number of carries he had and be able to hold him to that little yardage.
And we give it to Bell again. And Bell bulls his way to the 35-yard line where D Ford makes the stop. Here's some of those fairly decent running backs that they've helped put the clamps on.
Yeah, you start looking at Matt Forte, you know, he's a dual threat guy, and Bernard's having a heck of a season. Eddie Lacy's a power back. You hold him to 46 yards. They've got their hands full today with Le'Veon Bell, already has 55 yards rushing.
Here's a big 3rd and 4. Both Bell and D'Angelo Williams in the backfield. They'll give it to Bell. And Bell is about a yard shy of a first down.
I think they're going to go for it.
He was tackled by Hussein Abdullah.
Hussein Abdullah and Eric Berry making the tackle, and you're right, no field goal unit on the field, Trent.
Well, instead of trying a 50-yard, 51-yard, field goal, and not a ton of wind, a little bit of wind, but just based on the conversations we had with Mike Tomlin and going back to that San Diego game 2 weeks ago, the faith that he has in his team, they're going to continue to try and push this pile.
Bell on the sideline, D'Angelo Williams in the backfield. Williams. Forward progress is going to be marked short of the first down. He did not get it. The Kansas City Chiefs defense holds, and the ball goes over to the Chiefs.
He was tackled by
There's Mike Tomlin of the Steelers, and his gamble just didn't work out this time.
Take a quick look at D Ford and Eric Berry. They're going to close off the left side, and as D'Angelo Williams runs to his left, it's D Ford that comes off of that block and is able to make the tackle, stopping him for the first down.
Welcome back into Arrowhead Stadium. Greg Gumbel, Trent Green, Stacey Dales is downstairs. I guess you never really know where a spark is going to come from for a team. Today, it appears the Chiefs might be getting that spark from the defensive side.
The defense is giving them that spark, and Mike Tomlin has to take a calculated risk. That's what he wanted to do. He had the confidence in his team. They've converted several third and shorts, decided to go for it on fourth down, but now that momentum swings to the Kansas City side because of the defensive stop.
So the Chiefs take over at their own 32 with the ball and the 6-3 lead. 4:41 to play in the first half. Little play fake. Smith rolling, throws near sideline. That is O'Shaughnessy, the tight end, and gets nailed. All of that for about a 1 or 2 yard gain. Cameron Hayward, big number 97, came barreling in. Hey, with NFL Mobile, watch local and primetime NFL games live on your smartphone. Learn more at NFL.com/mobile.
I like how they've tried moving Alex Smith around today, having bootleg a couple times, both left and right. They've done the play fake with the half roll, stepping up in the pocket, and then of course the misdirection they've used with the Anthony Thomas. So trying to give it a different location for the defense to pinpoint on.
Second and 8. This is West, and West with a little running room. Across the 35 to the 37, and that was Mike Mitchell, who came barreling in from his safety position for the tackle.
And that was a perfect way to say come barreling in, because he put a pretty good hit there on Charcandrick West, and had a chance to talk with him last night. I thought that was really good. That was my first time getting a chance to sit down with him. Just his thoughts on the defense, the thoughts on Keith Butler as the defensive coordinator, what he asks the safeties to do in this system, and just really overall the guys that he's playing with, the passion they play for each other.
3rd and 4. Why is it some of the hardest hitters are the softest talkers? On 3rd and 4. Under pressure. He got rid of it. First down. Across the 45 to the 47. That's Chris Conley. Big target for Alex Smith at 6'3", 205, the rookie out of Georgia.
That 10-yard completion for Alex Smith. Good. For Kansas City.
Conley's going to come from the outside and just sit down. You see the attention that Travis Kelce draws. The defenders are falling back on Kelce, leaving Conley sitting in the middle of the field. Also the attention, Charcandrick West, a couple guys over there. Alex Smith doing a good job standing in there under pressure, knowing he's going to take a shot, take a hit, and he's able to get the completion for the first down.
Chiefs last in the NFL on 3rd down conversions, 4 out of 6. Smith, this side of the field, and that is complete to Albert Wilson. And Wilson breaking tackle, still breaking tackles, and up the sideline. Wilson out of bounds, short of the 10-yard line. Ryan Shazier chased him out. Very similar to the play that he broke last week for a touchdown against the Vikings.
He has the speed. He's one of the fastest receivers that the Chiefs have. As impressive as that was to keep his feet and get through it, the hustle of Ryan Shazier to be able to chase him down
1st and 10 Chiefs from
and ultimately push him out of bounds.
This is a Kansas City team operating without wide receiver Jeremy Maclin, who is sidelined with a concussion. And before we get another playoff, we're going to wind our way down to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to play here in Arrowhead Stadium. The Chiefs with a 3-point lead and looking for more. And this is the NFL on CBS. A couple of moments ago, cornerback Antoine Blake leaving the field, head to the locker room. He's been replaced by Ross Cockrell. Secondary that's already missing Cortez Allen and Will Allen. 2 minutes to play from the 13-yard line. Smith pulls it down, throws the short pass, and inside the 15 is Travis Kelce.
To Travis Kelce.
Once again, a little bit of misdirection, trying to get the Steelers defense to become confused. Probably the 4th or 5th time we've seen the Chiefs pull something out today.
I'd say all things considered, when you look at all of the changes that have been made up front on the offensive line by Andy Reid, they've performed pretty well today.
They have performed well, and Andy talked to us about the frustration a week ago against Minnesota, only 51 yards in the first half, and now they're nearing 200 yards here in the first half against the Steelers. Smith
batted down at the line of scrimmage. Looked like Bud Dupree, the rookie linebacker.
Down at the line of scrimmage. Third down and 10 from the 13-yard line.
Chiefs had 3 tight ends lined up to the left. You'll see Dupree right here. When you have a 3-step drop like that, you've got to take their legs out. That's the second time. We saw it earlier. Justin Houston did it on a quick screen by Landry Jones, and they weren't able to chop him. That time there against Bud Dupree, Jeff Allen's got to be able to chop him down, get his hands down.
Lyle Davis in the backfield now on 3rd and 10.
Steelers bringing pressure from the left.
Smith throwing, and that is complete inside the 10 to the 9 is Conley.
Smith's pass complete.
That won't be enough for the first down, and here comes the field goal unit.
He was tackled by Brandon Boykin.
Steelers using the timeout to give themselves offensively as much time as possible.
So each side has used the timeout here in the first half, which has 1:05 to run.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV.
The faces you see in the crowd. That lovely lady in the middle is 4th grader Janelle Green. You know her?
Very proud of her. Very proud of her. Yeah, she's excited about today. They're going to be performing at halftime.
Cairo Santos from 27 yards out. And that line drive kick is through the uprights. 1 minute to play in the first half. Chiefs lead at 9-3. A reminder coming up, the Verizon halftime report with JB and the guys back in New York. All the scores and the highlights, all coming up on the Verizon halftime report. Cairo Santos, 3 field goals, 9-3 Kansas City with a minute to play. And this one looks returnable. From the 1, it's Dree Archer. Archer with running room across the 20 and out to about the 24-yard line. Let's go down to Stacy.
Well, Greg, we saw Antoine Blake, cornerback for the Steelers, leave for the locker room. He has been sent back to be evaluated for a concussion, and certainly that means a questionable status.
All right, Stacy, thank you. 53 seconds on the clock, each team with 2 timeouts remaining. And as we said, the Kansas City defense has been very effective against Landry Jones and the Pittsburgh offense.
And they've kept everything in front of them. There haven't been big chunks of yardage gained by the Steelers. And give credit to this defense for their firm tackling.
Jones, sideline. That's complete to Antonio Brown and out of bounds at the 45.
Pass complete to Antonio Brown. He was worked out of bounds by Marcus Peters.
20-yard pickup.
That's Antonio Brown on Marcus Peters, and Marcus Peters doesn't.
Pittsburgh at the Steelers.
Wow, that's a
45-yard
first
line.
pass attempt since 8:22 of the first quarter. It's hard to get into a rhythm as a quarterback, but that time they were very effective. Marcus Peters playing off coverage. He'd rather be up there bumping, running like he is this time, down bobbing on the screen here. Peters would rather get his hands on you.
Jones looking the other way this time and throwing, and that is incomplete. Marcus Wheaton, the receiver on that side of the field.
Marcus Wheaton.
And Sean Smith covered.
He was covered by Sean Smith.
Well, for the Steelers now, you're sitting here 43 seconds. You still have a couple of timeouts, so you can't go away from the middle of the field yet. You have a kicker in Boswell that is the 4th kicker they've had this season, and just in the couple weeks he's been here, he hasn't missed a field goal yet. So they have great confidence in what he's been able to do in a short period of time.
On 2nd and 10. Landry pulls it down a couple of times and throws it away.
Jones pass incomplete.
You know, talking with Mike Tomlin about how much Landry Jones absorbed this week, and he said he pretty much has the whole playbook, but when we started to talk about where something should happen to Landry Jones, they signed from the practice squad young Tyler Murphy, the rookie free agent out of Boston College. He said he would have a limited menu.
He would have a very limited menu. He was actually in the transition stage of going from quarterback to wide receiver. So now
There's Tyler Murphy, number 16.
And now they've put him back. But for the Steelers' sake, they're hoping they don't need to require on old Tyler.
3rd and 10. Over the middle, intercepted. Picked off in the middle of the field by Derek Johnson. And Johnson back to the 40, inside the 40-yard line. His first interception of the season. And the first one that Landry Jones has thrown.
Well, Derek Johnson, you'll see him right there. He's going to drop back into zone coverage, and Landry Jones just tries putting it over the top and laying it in there. If Derek Johnson doesn't get the interception, it could have been one of the safeties that was coming up. I think Landry Jones got caught. Keep an eye on his helmet. He's staring down the receiver. He stares in that spot the whole time. That's why so many defenders rallied to that area. He's going to, if he wants to push the ball up the field, he can't get locked in on a receiver.
Only the 4th turnover committed by the Pittsburgh Steelers this season.
Well, now the Chiefs with 2 timeouts can still utilize the middle of the field. Only 27 seconds, but now you can get into field goal range.
Smith throwing inside the 35 to the 30 is Chris Conley. And they stop the clock with 21 seconds. Kansas City with 1 timeout left, 21 on the clock. A reminder, the Verizon halftime report coming your way with JB and the gang in New York. Scores and highlights all coming up. The Verizon halftime report. 21 seconds on the clock. Chiefs with a timeout to play with. Smith looked right, looked left, and goes down. And Cameron Hayward gets the sack.
Cameron Hayward on the sack.
That's his 3rd of the season. And the Chiefs have to use their 3rd and final timeout with the line of scrimmage now, the 36-yard line.
Well, and you're still going to be in Cairo Santos field goal range, but this is a sack you can't afford to take. They wanted to come out and get a quick throw to the right. It wasn't there. You saw as Alex wanted to get rid of the ball. He came back to his left, saw he didn't have that check down. He was hoping to have Tarkandrick West as his check down, and ultimately you got to be able to get rid of that ball just to save the field position. Now you have no timeouts, only the 15 seconds on 3rd down, so it's got to be near the sideline or it's got to be past the 1st down marker to be able to go up and spike the ball.
Santos has hit from 51 yards twice this season.
3rd down and 7 from the 36-yard line.
Chiefs are out of timeouts. Pittsburgh has 2 remaining. 15 seconds on the clock. This sideline, and that is bobbled and complete out of bounds. Number 42, Anthony Sherman.
Cairo Santos and field
Well, and I can't believe
Albert Wilson, excuse me, bobbling it as he went out of bounds.
And I can't believe William Gay gave him that much of a cushion to allow an out route, knowing that knowing they didn't have any timeouts left and they were going to be doing out routes. But that play's over. It got dropped. The pass was dropped, and now Cairo Santos is attempting his longest field goal of the season.
This will be his career long if he makes it.
Not as long as the season. He did have a 66-yarder at the end of a game that was short, but.
Line drive kick is not good.
The kick is no good.
Well, the Landry Jones interception doesn't come back to hurt him. But now I guess we get to find out how big of an arm Landry Jones has. Do you run a draw? You throw a little screen, just try and pick up some yards and maybe get lucky, or
do you kneel on it?
Does Landry Jones have 65 yards in his arm to get it down to the end zone?
I'm thinking Mike Tomlin just takes a knee and goes to the locker room and talks about it. This from my extensive coaching experience.
Oh, with all that conservative approach, as they huddle up. As you can see, I'm a little more aggressive than that. Let's fire it down the field. Let's see if we can get something happen. So.
I'll be happy to tell Mike Tomlin you called him conservative.
Hey, based on the fact what he did against the Chargers a couple of weeks ago, he's not conservative.
You bet. Ben Roethlisberger, a spectator today as the teams leave the field. Let's go down to Stacy.
Coach, the interception and the stop by your defense, the reaction to breaking that momentum before halftime.
It's just what we got to do. You know, we got to compliment one another even when it's negative. And I appreciate that. That gives us a fighting chance.
Mike, we knew you would take some calculated risks offensively. How do you break this thing open with Landry Jones in this offense?
We just got to keep plugging. We got to stay within our personality and stay in the fight. We got to make some hay here in the second half, but we got plenty of time to do it.
Coach, thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you, Stacy. 9-3 Chiefs at halftime. We're back with the Verizon Halftime Report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS, the home of Super Bowl 50. Welcome back to Arrowhead Stadium, where the first half has been a little bit interesting, to say the least. The Pittsburgh Steelers not able to get anything going on offense under Landry Jones so far. Meanwhile, before the game, Trent Green said Alex Smith had to be great. He hasn't been great, but he's been better than Landry Jones, engineering 3 drives resulting in field goals. 9-3 Chiefs at halftime. Time now for Who Are You Lovin', presented by McDonald's. This is a key play, Trent. First
Big
half.
fourth down stop. D Ford comes up, makes the tackle. The Steelers were in field goal range. They decided to go for it. Eric Berry, D Ford had the leverage. D Ford's the one that comes up, makes the tackle.
Welcome back, everyone. Greg Gumbel along with Trent Green. What are we to make of this first half now, and what kind of adjustments do you see happening in the second half?
Well, I think it's important to remember for the Kansas City Chiefs, defensively, they haven't given up those big plays. They've got to keep the Steelers underneath them. They have to continue to come up and make tackles and not allow those big plays. And for the Steelers, Landry Jones, you have to find a way to let him loose. So far, 5 of 12 in the first half. He had a big gap of time where he didn't even have a pass attempt. I think you have to continue giving him the ball and trusting him to push the ball up the field.
We said it before, this Kansas City defense has been very, very impressive as you take a look at first half numbers. And it's amazing that the Chiefs are on the tall end of those numbers for the most part. Niall Davis going to run this one out of the end zone. Davis hit at the 20, spins forward to about the 22. Sean Spence made the stop.
Well, it's important to remember, Greg, you talked about the offense and what they've been able to do. They're without Jamal Charles, who they lost to injury, and they're without Jeremy Maclin. Looking at the stats now, look at the success Alex Smith has had up the field. That's one of the big complaints about him, was his ability to throw the ball up the field. And look at all of these pass attempts and completions. So you're looking at 4 of 5 on throws over 10 yards or over 11 yards. So he's done a good job pushing the ball down the field. The offensive line has given him a good amount of time. They have had some pressure, but for the most part, the offensive line has held up.
You saw Pittsburgh cornerback Antoine Blake leave the field in the first half. He's out there to start the second half as Charkandrick West carries the ball on first down.
He was tackled by Robert Golden, gain of 3 yards on the play.
Well, and Charkandrick West are going to continue to try and run him. Right now, he's got 8 carries for only 29 yards, so he hasn't been very effective. But if you continue to give him the ball, continue to do some of that misdirection that they've done with the Anthony Thomas, they have mixed in Niall Davis a little bit. But I think you have to have that balance, and you'll see them continue to do that.
Smith on the move, throws, incomplete, in and out of the hands of DeAnthony Thomas. It'll be 3rd and 7. One thing Andy Reid told us that he wanted to work on was getting the play in and out to Alex Smith in a hurry, and we have seen him have time to call the play and then come up to the line of scrimmage and make adjustments.
Well, and that's the exact thing that Andy talked about. He talked about tempo, and it all started tempo in practice will carry over to tempo in game, and you could hear Alex Smith before that play. You could hear him yell, kill, kill, kill. That's because they have a live play and then they have a secondary play, and if the defense shows him something, he can call kill and change it to that second play.
3rd and 7. Smith got rid of it. Had 2 receivers looking at down the near side of the field and didn't connect with either of them, either DeAnthony Thomas or Travis Kelce.
Once again, a nice job by the offensive line, picking up the pressure that the Steelers were applying. Alex Smith buying time, sliding up in the pocket, trying to continue to keep his eyes downfield. Just not able to connect with Travis Kelce.
Antonio Brown back for the punt. There's 84. Nice kick. Fair catch called for and made at the 20-yard line. That is where the Pittsburgh offense, led by Le'Veon Bell,
No return.
will take over.
Chiefs Kingdom is hallowed ground. Here we respect it. No participate.
Back in Arrowhead Stadium, 13:48 to play here in the third. The Chiefs with a 9-3 lead, and Landry Jones back to work at quarterback. Ben Roethlisberger watching from the sideline. Jones to throw. He started this game throwing the football. This one to the near side, intended for Heath Miller, and Derek Johnson there to break it up.
Jones' pass intended for Heath Miller. He was covered by Derek Johnson.
Not a whole lot to brag about offensively for the Steelers today.
Well, and if you think about it, that one you see there, the third one down, getting stopped on downs, that fourth down play, going for it, making a calculated risk, deciding to go for it instead of taking the field goal, having that confidence Mike Tomlin did. But after that play, the Chiefs have really been in control in terms of not allowing the Steelers to move the football.
2nd and 10, and with the play clock winding down, they have to call the timeout. And that's what they do with 13:42 to play in the third quarter of a 9-3 game. Chiefs up 6.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest. Transparency. Low fares, nothing to hide. Toyota. Let's go places. And by Domino's. Order online at Domino's.com.
2nd down and 10 from the Pittsburgh
Historic
21-yard
and
line.
beautiful Union Station here in Kansas City. Great sports fans in this city. Nice town. Except when it's cold. It does get.
You always refer back to the call. That
Yeah.
cracks me up. That's right.
Landry Jones with all kinds of time and throwing far side of the. Oh, what a catch. What a catch by Antonio Brown. And out of bounds at the 46-yard
Jones'
line.
pass complete to Antonio Brown.
Sean Smith not knowing where the ball was going to be. Landry Jones just putting it in position. Antonio Brown coming up with a. I don't know how he comes up with this, but I don't know how he sees it, because when you look at it from his view, he's got Sean Smith jumping in front of him at the time, and yet he's able to come around and come up with that catch.
What did Antonio tell us last night? If I see him throw the ball, he's thrown it too late.
It's too late. If I see the ball leave the quarterback's hands, that's too late.
Jones, under pressure, got rid of it. This is D'Angelo Williams, and Williams into Kansas City territory to the 45 for a pickup of 8.
Pass complete to D'Angelo
Well,
Williams.
the other thing Antonio Brown talked to us about is just the relationship he's built up, the chemistry that he's built up with Ben Roethlisberger over the years. He said, when I'm one-on-one, I know that Ben and I have that relationship where he's going to be looking at me most of the time. He goes, I don't have that relationship with Landry Jones. I don't have that type of relationship with Michael Vick because I don't have the reps with him. I don't have the chemistry with him. He goes, that's something that's going to have to be developed over time. But, you know, if there's anybody on the field that misses Ben Roethlisberger more than Antonio Brown, it'd be hard to find.
On 2nd and 2, quick pass. This is Brown, and Brown going to be thrown for a loss. Nice play by Sean Smith.
Pass complete to Antonio
A lot
Brown.
of cushion here, so you can understand why Landry Jones wanted to get the ball on him quick. And
on the play.
you know, Antonio Brown being the punt returner that he is, he's good in open space. So get him the ball in open space, make the first guy miss and go. So give Sean Smith credit for tackling him around the waist and not allowing him to use that shiftiness.
3rd and 3. Pittsburgh 2 out of 7 on 3rd downs today. Landry throwing this side of the field and off the fingertips of Marcus Wheaton.
Jones pass intended for Marcus Wheaton.
Well, Landry Jones is mad at himself after this throw. This is one that he has to have. It's just your basic hitch route, quick three-step drop out of the shotgun. You see the off corner. You can see he's mad at himself. He knows that's one he should have had.
Thomas.
So DeAnthony Thomas is back for the kick upcoming from Jordan Berry. Puts it up high. DeAnthony Thomas going to let it bounce. And special teams will take care of this one down inside the 5-yard line. Darius Hayward-Bay downs it. And Kansas City will be working out of a hole when we come back. Back in Arrowhead Stadium, we welcome to the booth a gentleman who is not totally unfamiliar with the place. As every once in a while, they leave the doors open at the NFL Today, and people are able to sneak out. And apparently, that's what Tony Gonzalez has done. You know, these guys apparently know each other. Way back in the days of black and white TV, and before there were such things as remote control.
Is that black and white?
34 touchdown passes between these two. I imagine we'll be reliving a few of those before you exit the premises. Welcome. Good to have you.
Thank you, guys. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, good to be welcome up in the booth.
This is great. I've never seen this before. I'm here with Mr. Gumble, Mr. Green. Life doesn't get better than this. This is great.
We're glad to have you.
Thank you.
Think about this Kansas City defense so far.
Well, right now I think I'd like to see a couple more sacks. You know, that's kind of what's been their reputation over the last couple of years, getting after the quarterback. But I'm happy with what they're doing out there right now.
Pass complete to Jason Avant.
Jason Avant on the receiving end. And as we said at the very top of the day, Alex Smith short on the receiving end with Jeremy Maclin inactive today.
Well, he is, and so to pick up that slack, you need Travis Kelce. So just some of your thoughts, Tony, obviously being a future Hall of Famer that you are. What do you think of Travis Kelce?
Well, you know what I love about Travis? First of all, he's one of those unique players, obviously 6'6", 250 pounds plus, mismatched nightmare can run. But what I like about him is when he gets the ball in his hands, that's when really he becomes really special. Look at
that pass down the sideline intended for Chris Conley, just off the fingertips and incomplete.
Yeah, but with Travis, what he does when he gets the ball in his hands, what he's able to do after he catches the ball, I really believe that he is the best tight end right up there with Rob Gronkowski. That yards after catch, he is really good at making plays in the open field.
We can see coming into today that Travis Kelce's second in the National Football League in receiving yards at tight end, and already putting together a good day, 4 receptions for 47 yards, but it is that yards after catch, that athleticism that he shows, his ability to catch the ball in open space. See if they're looking for him here on third down.
Who called him Baby Gronk when we were talking yesterday?
A couple of the Steelers did.
Yeah, Mike Mitchell. That pass underneath, and that goes through the hands of the intended receiver, Charkandrick West, out of the backfield.
Random snap. Team timeout. Number 1. Kansas City.
So the Chiefs got a timeout prior to that snap, so that play did not count.
30-second timeout.
So let's take a look at Travis Kelce so far this afternoon. He's been pretty active. Plus, he's a little bit off-center, isn't he? He's just his personality is just a little different.
I tell you what, that's people say, okay, I guess he gets a little bit of the comparisons, because I played here for the Chiefs all those years. But I'll tell you what, he does way better than me. He gets hype. He has so much passion, and his dancing after he scored touchdowns, that's a lot better than I was, Trent. I'll tell you that right now. All I did was dunk it over the goalpost.
You kept it simple. You kept it simple. You're like, I'm just going to dunk and move on. Here you go.
So 9-yard line.
He talked to us about that a couple days ago, how he tries to change up the dance moves every time. He has one prepared, so he's hoping to get in the end zone today and showcase it.
Can't wait. I hope to see it.
3rd and 4. Smith on the move and had to throw it away.
Smith's pass incomplete.
That time the Steelers were physical with Kelce. Physical with Kelce getting off the line of scrimmage, not allowing him to get into his route. And
Dustin Colquitt in punt formation for Kansas City.
You'll see him right here. He's coming off the line. He's going to get hit here. And then Timmons is in coverage on him. And by the time he turns around, Alex Smith is already outside the pocket, scrambling to the right.
You know, and kudos to Pittsburgh. That's how you stop a really good tight end, is you bang him around at the line of scrimmage. That is something that I did not like when I played, because it throws all that timing off, and then you got the guy on the second level there to pick you up.
Antonio Brown with the fair catch at the 37-yard line. Don't go anywhere. Your flight's not leaving for another 5-10 minutes. We'll be back with Tony Gonzalez after this.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by FedEx, solutions that matter. And by Pennzoil Synthetics. Make the switch to Pennzoil Pure Plus Synthetics today.
38-yard line.
Welcome back to Arrowhead Stadium, along with Stacey Dales down on the sideline, Trent Green, Greg Gumbel, joined by Tony Gonzalez. 10:32 to play in the third of a 9-3 game. Kansas City in the lead, and the Steelers with the football at their own 37-yard line. This is Martavis Bryant. Bryant has a first down and then some, crossing across midfield and into Kansas City territory at the 49-yard line. Saturday, the SEC on CBS brings you the best game from the best conference with one of the biggest rivalry games you will see. Florida and Georgia meet for the 93rd time, and first place in the SEC East on the line. It all begins live at 3 Eastern with college football today right here on CBS Sports. You know, Trent, you were right. Tony is just itching to be out on the field. You can tell. He just wants to get back.
I was keeping my eye on him in pregame down there. He was a little close to that field, and I knew he was itching.
On first down, now the slant, that is, popped up into the air and picked off. Picked off, and this is Eric Berry. Berry brings it back to the 48-yard line.
Interception, Chiefs.
Keep an eye on Derek Johnson as he's dropping back into coverage. It looks like he gets his left arm on this slant throw that Landry Jones is trying to throw off his back shoulder, so he gets a piece of it, which doesn't make it a clean catch for Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown, as he's going to the ground, tips it up in the air and allows Eric Berry to drive up from his safety position and secure that interception. Obviously, with it being a turnover.
They will look at that, and
all turnovers are reviewed, but it looks like they're going to take a closer look.
Yeah. That one looked clean from here. They'll check it out. As we welcome you back, Mike Carey joins us from New York.
Play, the ruling on the field is confirmed. We have an interception. First down for Kansas City.
Mike Carey, any doubt in your mind about this one when it happened?
No, not at all. But while it's happening, it's followed the bouncing ball like a pinball game. It bounces twice, then gets tipped up again, and then a great catch right on the ground. The ball never hits the ground. We have a clear interception.
Eric Berry, his first of the year. Thank you, Mike. And the ball goes over to the Chiefs, who begin at their own 47-yard line. Good field position, Alex. And Alex gives to Charkandrick West, who is hit hard at about the line of scrimmage.
How about the excitement that Mike Carey just showed on the tip ball? He goes like Landry Jones isn't excited about the tip. Mike Carey sure was.
As you mentioned, it's been a long day for Mike already. Mike was up early.
Yes, he was. That's right. We've talked to him.
The morning game from London. How about those Jacksonville Jaguars?
Didn't see that one coming, I'll tell you that.
He scored late to beat Buffalo by 3.
Fisher moves.
Number 72, offense. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Meanwhile, back here in the booth, not that you're the expert on false starts, but it happens.
It did happen to me quite a bit. I'm sure Trent could tell you
I wouldn't
many
say
stories.
quite a bit. Occasionally.
Well, you get excited, you know what I mean?
I usually got him on my hard counts. When I'd get the hard counts, like, I know what's coming, and you got me. So.
Trent Green had one of the best hard counts in the business. I'll tell you what, even you knew it was coming, it was still like hot, and it was so good, Trent.
On 2nd and 14, this is West in the West. up the middle, back to about the original
Okay,
line of
request the
scrimmage.
ball carrier.
Well, as I described a minute ago, future Hall of Famer Tony Gonzalez, and this is the reason why. Look at the number of receptions, yards, touchdowns.
Gain of
And
5 yards on the play.
as you can see, all of those are the most all-time for a tight end in the National Football League. So it's obviously a very well-established career. But how you liking the broadcasting?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I don't have to get hit anymore, which I think is probably my most favorite thing about it. But to hang out with such good guys on that desk, James Brown, Coach Cowher, Boomer, and Bart, I mean, it's a lot of fun. And I had some good quarterbacks. I'll tell you what, Trent. I loved how, especially in the fourth quarter.
On 3rd and 10, that is Wilson, and Wilson out of bounds just short of the 35-yard line, but enough for first down.
That 16-yard completion good. For a Kansas
Good
City
pass protection. You see Albert Wilson, he's going to release in here. He's going to come up, push it inside before breaking to the outside. Watch the release. That's where he gets a clean release, able to get into stride, and that's what gives him the separation, as opposed to what we saw earlier with Travis Kelce, where they're banging him at the line of scrimmage. That time Wilson was able to get free.
This time Wilson on the slant inside the 25 to about the 21-yard line, and another Kansas City first down. We've been talking all day long about how there has been a lack of momentum for the Kansas City offense, and Alex Smith seems to have found some today.
Yeah, it looks like it right there, and that's who needs to get going. Wilson needs to be that confidence. Since Jeremy Maclin's not in there, Travis Kelce becomes that main guy in this offense as far as the passing game goes, but they need a compliment, and I think Wilson is picking up the slack right there.
This is West. Running room. Inside the 15 to the 13-yard line, Ryan Shazier with the stop.
And Greg, you talked about the momentum that the Chiefs need to get, and it's all started by their defense, coming up with that big turnover, getting them the ball back, getting some momentum going, and then obviously getting some nice completions to keep this drive moving into Steeler territory.
Mike Tomlin standing there on the sideline. Coaches hate turnovers, don't they?
Hey, not very happy about that one.
Chiefs have failed to score a touchdown in their last 7 trips to the red zone. Second and short yardage here. Quick pass, far side. This is Conley. Conley dodges a couple of tacklers, still dodging tacklers, and out of bounds close to the 5-yard line.
Well, William Gay actually had a good read on the play. Here's Gay. He's going to come up on this play, and he's able to get picked off. Jason Avant's the 181 standing over the top of him. He's the one to come up and get that block that allows Conley to get free. And then Conley's just individual effort to get him down inside the 5.
Let's see about Travis Kelce here, huh?
First and goal. West.
So I can request the ball carrier.
To about the 2.
Mike Tomlin talked to us. Yeah, they've had some injuries, they've had some changes, and believing in the 53 men that he has, and not to get caught up in all the speculation and talk about, oh, how are you going to deal without Roethlisberger? How are you going to deal now without Beachum, and you got Villanueva at tackle? How are you going to handle without Shazier because of injuries on the defensive side? And he just said, you know what, we got the 53 guys. I trusted my guys in the process to get them ready.
West and Sherman in the backfield.
There's Kelce in motion.
West just short of the end zone.
Request the ball carrier.
West did a late spin there, trying to spin back into the end zone. We have a good shot of it here, not necessarily right on the goal line, but watch as he runs to the right here. You're going to see right before the end zone, he spins to his left. It doesn't look like Golden. It doesn't look like Golden allows that ball to cross the goal line.
Came very close though. Number 21, Robert Golden.
And the ball did come out before he hit the ground, so.
Yeah, they might want to review this one. See if they can get this ball off.
Third and goal. Touchdown!
Touchdown, Chiefs!
That's good. 3 runs in a row, huh? That's That's insulting to a defense. When you go down there and you're that close with the weapons that you have, Travis Kelce, and you decide to run it 3 times in a row and you punch it in there, that's a good message to send to that defense.
Cairo Santos home for the extra point. Dustin Colquitt holding.
Some really nice blocking up front for Charkandrick West.
Excellent blocking. It would have been Ben Grubbs, left guard, that pulled around. It was Travis Kelce that was in motion, that settled up, that pulled around. They did a nice job of leading up through the hole.
Santos at the extra point.
The kick is good.
4:23 to play here in the third, and the first touchdown of the day scored by the Kansas City Chiefs, who lead now 16-3. West with his first touchdown of the season and second of his career. You know, Tony, everybody has to make adjustments. It's amazing to me. Everybody deals with the injuries and the problems that they have. To me, it's how the coach deals with those. You know, the Chiefs obviously missing Jamal Charles. They're missing Macklin today. And Pittsburgh has their share of injuries, too, on the other side.
Yeah, well, and that's really where the personality of the football team, I believe, always starts with the head coach. And they're always a reflection of what the product is out there, what the guys feel, and that's what we look for as players. Trent, you obviously know what I'm talking about. Anytime when times get tough, which they always do during the NFL season, you look to that leader of your team, the head coach, and you look to how he handles it, and then you adopt that way, and then you look to the leadership of the team. But I believe it really starts at the top. And Coach Tomlin and Andy Reid, they've dealt with injuries before. They've been here. They know what they're doing. And I think these teams have come out and played great, but the Chiefs right now are playing even better.
Well, and that's something that Andy Reid told us. He said he walked into the meeting, he said, I've never been 1-5, I've never lost 5 games in a row before. But he said, what I want you guys to know is I'm all in. I'm not going anywhere. We're going to fix this, and I think sending that message to a team is helpful.
Dree Archer going to run this one out of the end zone. Cut down short of the 25-yard line by Anthony Sherman, number 42. And that is where the Steeler offense will get started.
Anthony Sherman.
They have one of the guys on defense. Chiefs rookie cornerback Marcus Peters has a strong connection to the Oakland, California area, where he grew up playing Pop Warner in high school football for Michael Peters, his dad. Michael is in his 3rd season as the head coach at McClemens High School after spending 23 years there as an assistant. Marcus recently brought the program new uniforms, which will be debuted in the homecoming game later this season. Young Marcus Peters making a splash on and off the field.
Always good to see those young guys give back. Love hearing stories like that.
So here are the Steelers. Le'Veon Bell.
Le'Veon Bell on the
for a couple to the 25-yard line.
Derek Johnson with a good read there, understanding that the guard was pulling, had a lane to shoot through the gap and able to get Le'Veon Bell before he could start getting into some of that shiftiness and patience that he does behind the line of scrimmage. Give DJ credit on that one.
As energetic and loud as this crowd is, you guys must have loved playing in front of the home fans.
Nothing better than an Arrowhead crowd, especially when the team is doing well. It compares to nothing. I've been all over the league, obviously, and very few teams have that type of atmosphere.
Antonio Brown down the near sideline, pulls it in or out of bounds.
Jones pass complete to Antonio Brown.
Complete at the 34-yard line.
And Marcus Peters is looking for a push-up. He doesn't get his head turned around till late, but watch, right at the end, Antonio Brown gets that left arm up, right arm up, gets a little bit of separation. You'll see a better angle here. See the left arm push, right arm push. So you can understand why the Chiefs sideline and Marcus Peters were looking for a penalty, but now it gives the Steelers a little bit of momentum coming down inside the 35 now.
Pittsburgh at the Kansas City 34. And Landry Jones has to call a timeout.
Well, that's already their second timeout here in the Already the second time out here in the second half.
3:13 to play here in the third. Hey, go all the way back to Super Bowl 43. Ben Roethlisberger and Kurt Warner both looking for their second Lombardi trophy. 35 seconds to play. The Steelers, a last shot to win the game. Santonio Holmes with a tremendous catch, getting both feet in bounds to score the game-winning TD. The Steelers won in 27-23. Became the first team to win 6 Super Bowls.
6. Wow. That's incredible.
Sometimes it doesn't seem fair, does it?
Oh, man. The Rooney family's doing something right, huh,
Yes,
Greg?
they are.
There's Ben on the sideline, and we were talking earlier about just how antsy he is. He wanted to play so badly today. And we asked Mike Tomlin about it. He says, that's Ben. He always does.
Yes. Talked to him before the game. He said the knee's feeling a lot better.
Jones. Intercepted inside the 5. No. Dropped the ball. Sean Smith had a chance at a pick inside the 5-yard line and couldn't hold on.
Well, that's one Landry Jones will wish he had back. He left that a little short. Had he let it up the field, see Sean Smith undercut it, almost gets the interception, but not enough air on that.
Second down and 10.
See, Bryant had a step on Sean Smith, or 2 steps on Sean Smith, so lucky to get the ball back, or keep possession of it, I should say.
Landry Jones starting to take some of those shots you were talking about in the first half.
Well, that's it. You have to, especially at this point in time, 16-3. You have to start pushing up the field to see if you can't you can't settle for field goals at this point.
This is Bell breaking through right side, first down inside the 25 to the 23-yard line.
Carrier.
We've been talking and almost laughing all day that everybody talks about how patient a runner Le'Veon Bell is when he approaches the line of scrimmage.
First and 10 Steelers. At the
Well, you got to feed yourself. He's one of the best in the business. And every time he gets the ball in his hands, I hold my breath because he's got that in him where he can take it the distance.
That replay angle was a great replay just to show the patience he had. He bounced up there, waited, found his hole, and then was able to burst through.
This is Bell again. Just steps to the right where the hole opens up and he's inside the 20 at the 19-yard line.
Tackled by Josh Luka.
So what has changed with the Pittsburgh Steelers now? Why are they suddenly able to move the ball?
Well, I think you got the big gain to Antonio Brown down the right sideline. That was a big chunk of yardage that they hadn't really gotten. You know, if you start looking back, first half they were able to get a couple of plays, only 17, 23-yard type gains, but this drive here getting that big chunk of yardage, and then you got to get Le'Veon Bell going. You know, he only had 12 carries coming into this possession, and now with 2 carries and starting to get a little momentum in the running game as well, you have to make sure you keep Bell in the plans all the time.
On 2nd and 6, going for the end zone. He's got a man open, complete for the touchdown. Martavis Bryant.
Touchdown Pittsburgh.
Because it's obviously signaled a touchdown, it's going to have to be reviewed, but you could see even from up here in the booth that he was bobbling a little bit. Excellent throw by Landry Jones. Martavis Bryant trying to get control of the ball before he gets out of bounds. Let's see. Little bobble, but he secures it. It's going to be determined, does that foot come off the ground? See if this right foot comes off the ground before he secures it. The left one gets in, but the next time that right foot comes down, it's out of bounds. So what you need to see is this right foot, as it comes off the ground, is he controlling the ball before that left one goes down? So is there going to be enough evidence to overturn this? Because it was called on the field. So right there, if we could back it up and freeze just a little bit, his toes off the ground here. It's when does this right foot leave the ground and does he have the ball secured? The left one's clearly in, so does he have control? Ooh. I don't know if there's enough to overturn this. I think it's close enough to keep it a touchdown.
Well, let's see if Mike Carey is standing by in New York and get his expert opinion. Mike, what do you see?
Yeah, look at his right foot, and when you see the ball in his hands, the laces never move. The right foot is toe tapping. The left comes down. I confirm this in replay.
Mike, you and I agreed. Holy cow! All right, we broke a string there. Good.
Tell you what, that is
Referee
a tough
to quarterback.
one. That's a tough one to call right there. But I think I agree with you guys. I would call it a catch, too, I think.
Mike was looking at laces. You didn't even mention.
I didn't even
You're
mention
the
laces.
quarterback, and you didn't mention laces.
Man, Mike took it to another level.
Well, that's why Mike is who he is, right? That's right. Look at you, Mike.
You spent a lot of time in the corner of end zones, though. You caught quite a few of those touchdowns in the corner of end zones, right?
Yeah, and I love how Landry Jones, I mean, take a shot. You guys were just talking about it. To loosen up this defense, to get Le'Veon Bell going, you got to take shots over the top.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
You guys are smart. I love it. Smart guys.
I like how we said it's confirmed. He didn't say it stands. He said it's confirmed. So once again, it's going to be Bryant's right foot. It's still on the ground when he secures the football. The left one's clearly in.
He knew it was a touchdown. That's Big Ben.
Extra point is good. So the Pittsburgh Steelers come right back with a touchdown and close the gap to 16-10, and that was more like the Pittsburgh offense that we were used to seeing because we hadn't seen it all day.
Yeah, and that was much needed. As we see, the score now is a one-possession game, and you know they got Le'Veon Bell involved in that drive. They got the big play up the field to Antonio Brown. Ultimately, the big play touchdown to Martavis Bryant. So that's where you like to. That's generally where you see the success that the Steelers have is when they can mix in the run, take some shots up the field. Yeah, they're going to utilize some underneath stuff. But that's what they've been waiting for all day.
Okay, yeah. Tony Gonzalez spends his Sunday afternoons now in our studios in New York. This is one of those rare instances where you get out. When you're this close to the game again, do you miss it?
No. You know what I really miss? I had to go to the bathroom right before we went on the air. This is what I'm talking. So I had to run up the tunnel, and then I was running back, and I got that feeling of like, hey, I'm running out towards the football field.
Right,
it was great running out of the tunnel again. But and then I sit there and I watch these guys take these hits, and I say, you know what? I am so glad to be up in this booth. I am nice and safe.
We'll have to have you back to the booth when it's like 30 degrees out here. You'll stay in the studio now.
Some tight end you had there, Trent. That's all I'm saying.
You know, it's interesting, though, we talk about Travis Kelce. Heath Miller on the other side doesn't even have a catch today. And you know, that's usually a mainstay for the Steelers, has been for a lot of years. So they may be keeping him in more to help out with the pass protection.
Anthony Thomas going to run this one out of the end zone. To the 20. And a penalty marker flies.
Anthony Thomas on the return.
They've not had a whole lot of flags today. Here's Walt Coleman.
Holding, number 27, return team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
That penalty is on Tyvon Branch. Gives us an opportunity to remind you next Sunday, the NFL on CBS brings you a big AFC North battle between the undefeated Bengals and these Pittsburgh Steelers. Trent and I will be in Baltimore. San Diego visits the Ravens. The Jets will square off with the Raiders. It all starts with the team that takes you all the way to Super Bowl 50, JB and Company, and that company includes Tony Gonzalez on the NFL Today. Looking forward to San Francisco.
Yeah, can't wait.
Yeah,
my first Super Bowl, I cannot wait to get back there.
Are you a guy for predictions? Did you make predictions who would go at the beginning of the season?
Yes, unfortunately, Mr. Gumbel, they made us do that at the beginning of the season.
So when you say unfortunately, you got to tell us what that prediction was.
Well, I chose the Seattle Seahawks to get back to the game, the big game, and then out of the AFC, I said the Buffalo Bills. And
well, that's the unfortunate
wow.
part.
Yeah, you went out on a limb there a little bit.
Well,
huh?
you know, you got to mix it up.
You drank the Kool-Aid too. The Rex was selling up there. They sold a lot of season tickets up there and had it going early on.
You look at the defense, Tyrod Taylor, I thought he could get it done, and he still can. There's still a lot of football left. So we'll see. Maybe
well, they need to get him back.
Play is over. Unsportsmanlike conduct, taunting, number 72, offense. Half the distance to the goal, second down.
You don't hear of an offensive lineman taunting very often, so.
Seems to me you'd better be really, really good or having a really good game to do some taunting out there. That's Eric Fisher.
Let's see if we can see where Fisher comes in here. And oh, you see him running in. Had something to say to Mike Mitchell laying on the ground. Did it right in front of the officials, so whatever he said, the official heard as well.
Coming up on 1 minute to play here in the third quarter. And out across the 15 to the 16-yard line.
Spencer Ware, the ball carrier.
Number 32, Spencer Ware.
Gain of
This
3 yards
Kansas
on the
City
play.
team,
Second and
as
7
we
from the
mentioned, has been
17-yard
hit hard
line.
by injuries, holding their own so far and trying to break a 5-game losing streak. Hard to come to work when you're under those circumstances.
You know what? You have to find a way to go out there and get it done. And that's where we talked about the head coach really plays a key role in that, keeping the team motivated and saying we got a lot of football left. They still have a chance to turn this season around.
Smith pulled it down and got sacked back at the 8-yard line. Lawrence Timmons, Ryan Shazier.
See the pass rush coming from the right. Timmons and Shazier come as one guy to block two, and they don't block either. They come through clean and are able to sack Alex Smith.
This is going to take us to the end of the third quarter. Tony Gonzalez, been a pleasure seeing you again. Great to have you here.
Thank you, guys.
Best
Really
wishes to
appreciate
you.
it.
16-10 Chiefs. Back after this message and a word from your local station. All these guys are going to start throwing passes. Along with our producer Bob Monsbach and our director Suzanne Smith, Greg Gumbel, Trent Green, Stacey Dales, and the rest of our CBS Sports crew here in Arrowhead as we start the fourth quarter. Teams have traded touchdowns. Kansas City with a 16-10 lead and their ball at their own 10-yard line. After a sketchy first half on offense, these teams appear to have found a little rhythm here in the second half.
Well, and the Steelers were able to respond with the scoring drive after the Chiefs getting some points. So,
setting up the screen for West. West to the 15, spins forward to the 17-yard line.
Complete to Charkandrick West.
Robert Golden with the stop.
He was tackled by Robert Golden.
You know, just as Tony Gonzalez was leaving, I saw out of sheer force of habit you threw in the pen.
And of course he caught it.
Of course he caught it.
Antonio Brown back deep for Pittsburgh.
The Steelers are going to get good field position again, or anticipate getting good field position again.
Antonio Brown back at his own 30. And this one he'll get a chance to return from the 27. And buried at the 29. Daniel Sorensen led the charge for Kansas City, which leads by 6 here in the fourth.
50-yard punt.
14-13 to play here in the fourth quarter. Kansas City with a 16-10 lead. And on their last drive, the Pittsburgh offense showing the best life they've shown all day. Le'Veon Bell. Justin Houston leading the charge on defense. Just a reminder for you, coming up on the Subway postgame show, JB and the guys, minus Tony Gonzalez, for all the latest NFL scores and highlights, all coming up on the Subway postgame show.
29-yard line.
So it'll be interesting to see what kind of adjustments the Chiefs make on defense, or if Landry Jones has gotten a little bit more confidence throwing the ball around, as he did in that third quarter. Deep drop, sideline. Nice grab made at the 45-yard line by Antonio Brown.
Jones pass complete to Antonio
And I like the
Brown.
way Jones came back and threw this ball with confidence. He plants his feet in the ground and drives the ball, throws it with good velocity, puts it in position. Yeah, maybe a little bit high, but Antonio Brown's got plenty of room to make that catch. Look at how he steps into it, really gets his body into that throw, gets his legs into that throw. Give credit to the offensive line, giving him space to do that, but instead of being tentative, he came out and fired it.
And Antonio Brown turning the rookie Marcus Peters every which way on the route. Bell cuts inside, midfield. Look at that cut. Look at Le'Veon Bell. the way down inside the 15-yard line. Sean Smith caught him from behind.
He was tackled by Sean Smith.
Just a stretch play out to Le'Veon Bell's left. It's our right. He's getting some lead blockers out in front. There's that patience, allow the blocks to happen, and then the quickness to evade the tackle and the speed to get separation.
He's marked down at the 13-yard line. 42-yard pickup. Bell again. To the 10. There are times he approaches the line of scrimmage and it looks like a walk in the park.
I was just about to say the same. Sometimes it's almost a little too nonchalant. But if he doesn't have that quick twitch where he can get to full speed within a stride, you know, you'd be a little worried about it as we look at the comparisons between Landry Jones and Alex Smith today. Le'Veon Bell obviously getting that big rush to get over 100 yards.
He's got 121. Antonio Brown's got 124 receiving. Those killer bees. D'Angelo Williams has replaced Bell in the backfield, 2nd and 7. Jones for the corner of the end zone, incomplete. Intended for Martavis Bryant and covered by Marcus Peters.
Jones pass intended for Martavis Bryant.
It'll be 3rd and 7.
That was just an isolation, one-on-one on the top, and Landry Jones thought he'd take advantage of it.
From the 10-yard
Keith Miller has yet to have a catch today.
And an absolute staple of the Pittsburgh offense for years.
There he's lined up here. See if he helps out with Tom Ali with the block and then gets a late release.
Landry overrun at the 20-yard line. Tamba Ali leading the charge.
See, Tamba Ali is lined up here. He's going to come on an inside rush. Keith Miller tries to get hands on him, but with that inside, it's just a TE stunt, and what that is the tackle. Dontari Poe goes to the outside, and the E part of it is the end coming on the inside. And that's just something the Steelers have to be able to pass off.
Chris Boswell from 36 yards out, and it is good. 10-17 to play in the 4th. It's a 3-point game. 16-13 Chiefs.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Hyundai, an official sponsor of the NFL. And by AT&T. DirecTV and AT&T are now one, bringing television and wireless together.
That's Moose Park here in Kansas City. You big on foliage, Mr. Green?
I am.
Well, there's a lot of it for you right there.
That's right. I like the seasons. I know you don't. You like living in Florida. You like the warm.
I like the seasons as long as they're warm.
You like the 4 seasons of warm, right?
Or maybe just the 4 seasons period. 16-13. Niall Davis is deep, and he will get a chance to run this one back from about 3 yards deep in the end zone. Davis hit before he reached the 15 and spun up to the 16-yard line. Darius Hayward-Bay making the stop. Thursday night football coming your way, Miami and New England. And then in 2 weeks, it'll be that AFC North rivalry between Cleveland and Cincinnati. And by the way, Miami is no one pushover any longer, are they?
It's amazing what they've been able to do now that Dan Campbell's taken over as the 2nd game. I believe they're up 41-13 right now. So back-to-back good performances by that Dolphins team.
So here's Alex Smith in Kansas City from their own 16. Charkandrick West.
Charkandrick West, the ball carrier.
Maybe a yard gain. Cam Thomas with the stop.
He was tackled by Cam Thomas.
Travis Kelce slow getting up off the ground, but Charcandrick West, I like the way he's able to bounce that. I like some of the burst and athleticism he shows, but he scared me a little bit on that one as far as the way he was swinging the ball around. I know he had the costly interception or costly fumble a week ago, and needs to make sure he protects that football as he starts getting into traffic.
Getting back into his shoe on the sideline, Spencer Ware has replaced him. Smith throws far side, that is complete, and across the 20 is DeAnthony Thomas, and he was hit hard there by Mike Mitchell.
Smith's pass complete to DeAnthony Thomas.
Cincinnati on a bye today. They are the leaders in the AFC North at 6-0, and Pittsburgh looking to keep pace and then gain a little more ground. Next week, the Steelers are home hosting the Cincinnati Bengals.
3rd down and 4 from the 22-yard line.
3rd and 4. Smith, Kelce, got it!
Travis Kelce.
First down at the 48. There was only one place Alex Smith was going with that ball from the get-go.
Well, what he was watching was Mike Mitchell.
Completion from Alex Smith. Good for a Kansas City Chiefs.
So Kelce's going to be going down the middle of the field. Mike Mitchell was the safety that was down inside the box, giving him a cover 3 look, and then as he scrambled out of there, gave him a cover 2 look, leaving the middle of the field open. So then Alex Smith knew that he had Lawrence Timmons and Travis Kelce one-on-one down the middle of the field and took advantage of it.
26-yard pickup on first down. This is West. And West still on his feet. West breaking away. And down to the 16-yard line.
Charcandrick West.
Robert Golden finally made the tackle.
Excellent job by the interior part of the offensive line for the Chiefs as Charcandrick West reads the blocking, is able to get through to that second level, and has the speed and burst to get up the sideline.
36-yard pickup. It's like these two teams went into the locker room and brought the offense out with them for the second half.
They did. This was much needed for the Chiefs. I know that. And obviously when you have a young quarterback or inexperienced quarterback going on the other side with Landry Jones, they needed it as well, and they've let him loose here in the second half.
On first down, West pulls his way to the 12.
Tackled by Cam Thomas.
One of those guys who lets his actions speak louder than his words, because he didn't have very many words when we talked to him on Friday, did he?
No, he didn't have a lot to say. You know, it was interesting. I thought he had a good personality. He wasn't. Yeah, he just wasn't. You know, it's all new to him.
I've got a great personality. I just can't run the ball worth a darn.
That's right.
2nd and 6. This is Ware. And Ware slices through to the 6-yard line. And that looks like it may be enough for a first down. Let's see where they spot it.
He was tackled by Lawrence Timmons.
Maybe a little short.
It's going to keep it short. So you think about from a Steelers standpoint.
3rd and 1 from the 7-yard line.
Right now you want to hold them to a field goal and put the bodies in there and try and keep this a one-possession game.
Andy Reid continuing to rotate the backs. Charcandrick West is back in the backfield on 3rd and 1. A little flip for West, and West looking for that first down marker. Did he get it? Looks like he did.
Once again, a little bit of tricky play by the Chiefs.
That run good for a Kansas City Chiefs.
That's the first down for the Chiefs.
1st and goal at the 6-yard line.
A little bit of misdirection by the Chiefs once again. They've shown that a few times today.
So it's a 1st and goal for the Chiefs, just inside the 6-yard line.
You got Kelce right here.
Touchdown!
Chris Conley. Touchdown, Chiefs. 6-yard touchdown pass from Alex Smith.
Conley getting isolated on the backside. Just from the wing position. Just the change release, so you got a quick out here, and then Conley's going to the flat.
On for the extra point, Dustin Colquitt holding.
See the confusion. 3 Steelers go with Demetrius Harris on the out route right at the goal line, and nobody covers Conley down in the flat.
Cairo Santos for the extra point. It is good.
The kick is good.
5:13 to play in regulation. 23-13, Chiefs by 10.
And the Chiefs.
Back in Kansas City, 23-13, Chiefs leading the Steelers. 5:13 to play in the fourth tonight on 60 Minutes. The first and only look inside the U.S. air war against ISIS. Plus, an interview with Vice President Joe Biden. Only on 60 Minutes tonight. Here's Mike Tomlin. Trent, remember when I asked him, I said there have been a lot of people talking about this game as a possible trap game, and he said, well, that's for you guys because you guys need a lot to talk about, but sometimes there's a little truth to that.
Well, it can be, and as much as you don't want to believe it as a coach, and if you talk to the players and coaches, oh, we're not even, some of them say, oh, we didn't even know we're playing Cincinnati next week, and some are like, we're not worried about Cincinnati next week, and you can still have a little bit of that sneak up on you, but I think they're facing a much improved Kansas City team today.
Todman tried to stop Archer from bringing it out of the end zone, but Archer was on his way and makes it out to about the 16-yard line.
3 Archer on the return.
5:04 to play in the fourth. Alex Smith has brought his team to the brink of breaking a 5-game losing streak.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Dish. The Dish 2-year price lock. Go to Dish.com to learn more. And by Subway, the mouth-watering chicken and bacon ranch. Subway, eat fresh.
Arrowhead crowd hoping to see their Chiefs break a 5-game losing streak. 23-13 is the lead. 5:04 to play here in regulation time. The Chiefs, a couple of touchdowns on their last 3 drives after they've scored just 2 in a long time. Coming up the Subway post-game show, JB and the guys have the latest scores and highlights all coming up on the Subway post-game show.
1st and 10 Pittsburgh from the Steelers' 16-yard line.
The way this game has gone in the second half, Trent, you wonder if it's a last possession wins it kind of thing.
Well, with 5 minutes to go, you're going to have to see the Steelers pushing the ball up the field because now it's a 2-possession game if they want to try and get back in this.
Landry Jones, with time, flips it out to Bell. Bell to the 20. Pick up a 4, it'll be 2nd and 6. Eric Berry, Derek Johnson making the stop.
Well, that's exactly what the Chiefs need to do defensively is keep it in front of them, make them dump it off underneath, come up, rally, and make the tackle. They can't afford, like on the last drive, where the Steelers were able to get some big chunks. The Chiefs defensively can't allow those big chunks to happen.
Jones, quick pass, far side, complete. Bryant, first down.
Jones pass complete to Martavis Bryant.
To the 27. Pittsburgh had used 2 timeouts earlier here in the half, so they have 1 timeout remaining. Kansas City has 2.
Steelers are going to either need to take an attempt up the field, which obviously is risky with the coverage that the Chiefs are going to be in, or you need that underneath throw with big yards after catch.
Jones throwing wide open this side of the field is Marcus Wheaton, and Wheaton knocked out at the 40. Yet another first down.
Marcus Wheaton.
Steven Nelson knocked him out.
Forced out of bounds by Steven Nelson. 1st and 10 at the 39.
Now the ball at the 39 with 3:49 to play.
Well, and with Wheaton getting out of bounds, that allows the Steelers to huddle up and catch their breath a little bit as opposed to the up-tempo that they were attempting to go with.
Remember we asked Mike Tomlin if we could see a no huddle, and he said, yeah, we'll see a little of that.
a little bit more limited on what Landry can do out of the no huddle than what Ben has the use of out of the no huddle.
Jones got rid of it. Bell hit by two Chiefs.
Jones pass
across the
complete to
35.
Le'Veon Bell.
Allen Bailey and Justin Houston.
He was tackled by Justin Houston and Allen Bailey.
Well, that's the one as a receiver.
Loss of a yard on the play.
Since Le'Veon was catching it out of the backfield. As a receiver, when you go to make that move to the inside, when you're that close to the line of scrimmage, you know there's going to be big bodies pursuing, and Allen Bailey, all 300 pounds of him, was able to make that hit.
That's a big body.
That is a big body.
Loss of 1, second and 11. Jones under pressure, incomplete. Intended for Heath Miller.
Jones pass intended for Heath Miller.
How's Landry Jones look to you today?
Well, it's been a little bit inconsistent. Gets the interception. Derek Johnson gets there. That time there, not his fault. The ball gets tipped around 2 or 3 times. Then he comes back. Nice touchdown throw to Martavis Bryant. So it has been inconsistent. You think somebody getting their first start, there would be some inconsistencies, but the Steelers are counting on him here in the final 3:07.
3rd and 11. Jones with time. Bell shakes one tackler and fights his way across the 40 to the 43, maybe the 44-yard line. Now, what happens here on 4th down?
Well, you've got to be able to cut it inside. Le'Veon Bell that time, instead of stepping out of bounds, you know you have to go for it on 4th down, so pick up as many yards as you can. Those extra yards are more important than the time at this point in time. I don't understand why the Steelers are huddling up, though. They could be going at a faster tempo.
Clock continues to move. We come up on 2.5 to play.
Throughout this drive, Bob Sutton has brought different forms of pressure. Here you can see 6 guys right up at the line of scrimmage. A little bit looking like the Steelers defense, where you have a bunch of bodies at the line of scrimmage trying to cause some confusion.
They're coming after him. Got rid of it. And it is incomplete, and the penalty flag is down. Antonio Brown was being held by Sean Smith, and that one was pretty obvious.
Pretty clear holding by Sean Smith.
Pass interference, number 21, defense. Ball we play to the spot and foul. First down.
Here's a release of Antonio Brown. Sean Smith, as he comes out of the cut, you see him, he grabs that left arm of Brown in the shoulder pads, and because the ball's in the air, it's not called holding, it's called pass interference.
2:11 on the clock. Steelers now at the Kansas City 39. Landry under pressure, got hit. The ball is loose. Tamba Ali with the hit and recovered by the Chiefs. Jay Howard.
New left tackle Alejandro Villanueva has been going up against Tamba Hali all day and done a good job for the most part, but this time Hali is going to come around the edge.
Pressure by Tamba Hali.
He's able to get free after that initial contact, make the chop on the sack with the ball coming loose. Jay Howard able to jump on the loose ball.
That is the first lost fumble of the season by the Pittsburgh Steelers.
1st and 10 Chiefs from the Kansas City 47-yard line.
2:05 to play. Pittsburgh with 1 timeout and needing 2 scores. West across midfield, and that takes us to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to play here in Kansas City. The Chiefs by 10. As we welcome you back, remind you the aerial coverage of today's game provided by DirecTV. That is a beautiful shot of Arrowhead Stadium on high. .2 minutes to play.
Second down and 6.
Pittsburgh with one timeout remaining. Charkandrick West in the backfield, 103 yards rushing today, his first career 100-yard game. And he's going to carry the mail again, spinning inside the 45 to the 43.
Charkandrick West, the ball carrier.
Tomlin calls our last timeout.
Back to the turnovers the Steelers have committed today.
Well, the first interception, great leaping catch by Derek Johnson over the middle. This time Johnson tips it. Antonio Brown tips it a couple of times and then ultimately intercepted. And then, of course, the last one, Tamba Hali coming off the edge with the sack strip and Jay Howard recovering the fumble.
Chiefs by 10, 1:52 to play, and feeling good about their situation right now.
Well, and they should be after losing 5 games in a row and coming back home against a Pittsburgh team that has won two very emotional games the last couple weeks, with a big test for them coming up next week against Cincinnati. You know, we talked to Andy Reid. As you take a look at him right there, he mentioned the fact he hadn't lost 5 games in a row, and how was he going to respond? How was the team going to respond? And just the message he sent to his team about the approach they were going to take, and all of them, all the players and coaches we talked to said to increase tempo in practice this week.
On 3rd and 1. That's a first down. Charkandrick West straight ahead to the 42.
Charkandrick West, the ball carrier.
And the clock continues to move.
Well, now with no timeouts left and under the 2-minute warning, now it's just a matter of taking a knee. And you look at the numbers there for Landry Jones getting his first start in the National Football League after putting up some impressive numbers coming in the game last week after the injury to Michael Vick. And take a look at Ben Roethlisberger. He's going to be that much more anxious to get on the field next week as they face their division rivals, the Bengals. Bob Sutton with a little fist bump to Tamba Hali there.
And they're just going to kill some time here. Take a knee as the clock continues to move. 65 seconds to play, and this is what the Steelers are looking at. Cincinnati, Oakland, and Cleveland all at home before their bye week.
3 in a row at home is hard to come by in the National Football League, and if you look at it, they have 4 of the next 5 are at home, so potentially good run there for Pittsburgh.
Meanwhile, for Kansas City, they're off to London.
They've got a longer flight than you, Greg.
Not much. And that'll do it. Jets-Patriots bonus coverage coming up shortly. New England with a 3-point lead and coming up on 2 minutes to play. But meanwhile here, the Kansas City Chiefs, impressive on their home turf, snapping a 5-game losing streak. 23-13. Up next, the Subway postgame show for Trent and Stacy and the rest of us here in Kansas City.